Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gerzon. I am joined by Gina Marie Gerzon.
Hello. Hello.
Today we have a special guest, Mike Dietze. Say hi, Mike.
What's up, everybody?
And obviously, always produced, recorded, and delivered to you, hot and fresh, by Desi the Destroyer. Titan and Rajol in their usual spots, and it's beautiful out here in New York right now, so no cats. They are outside catching their vitamin D.
Feels like spring.
Yeah, I just realized one of my notes is off a little bit, but great weekend, right? Hope everybody had a great weekend. We are here recording this as usual on a Monday, and this is one of the warmer days that we're gonna have for the next few weeks, and it's just only gonna keep getting nicer out.
Supposed to be an early spring. Yeah,
we haven't caught up in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. No, my weekend was good. I went to the city on Friday night.
Nice.
With some friends of mine. Saturday, I didn't do anything because of Friday night.
Wild game of tiddlywinks.
Exactly. Tiddlywinks.
Uno got nuts. It's those draw fours. Always get you.
Yeah, it's a good weekend.
Awesome. Desi, what'd you do? A lot of money. You lost a lot of money gambling on the XFL?
Yeah.
Damn Guardians. They'll get you. Yeah, 1 and 2.
Hardcore tiddlywinks, chess, and checkers, you know.
Yeah. So, speaking of weekends, wild weekends like in Mike's case, we're just going to jump right into our first topic, the effects of alcohol and fat loss.
Well, do you want to rant first? Because it's on the tip of your tongue. Do you want to just rant first?
I might as well just get it out of my system.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So one thing that really bothers me is people that they want our help. They want our help to get them to where they want to be as far as being healthy and fit and strong. Cool. Fine. Awesome. We'll fucking do it. But you got to listen. You got to do what we're telling you to do. Right? And we're not saying that we know everything, but we know a lot on how to help you get there. You know? So if we tell you to eat a certain amount, you got to do it. If we tell you to add a little more weight in the bar, then fucking do it. But if we tell you that you should be eating a certain amount and you neglect some of our instructions by adding in some extra calories through alcohol, which we told you not to have or definitely not abuse, then don't fucking do it. Because what really pisses me off is when people are like, oh, I ate so good, I cut out all my carbs. Well, all right, strike one in my head, but I'm going to let you finish your sentence. Then you're like, oh, but, all I had was 3 fucking pitchers this weekend of sangria, or 5 pitchers with wings, and it's just wings. It's all fucking protein. Shut the fuck up. No, I never told you to have alcohol. Never told you to have alcohol. And you threw it all off. And that's what I don't get. Why are people so quick to cut carbs when they're extremely beneficial to helping you achieve your health and fitness goals, as opposed to alcohol, which doesn't do much except make people look hotter when they're not? So, I'm just kidding. But, right?
Easy, though.
Mike, have my back. Okay. But, no, seriously. Alcohol really doesn't do much. Why would you cut out something that you really need in place to add something that's just only going to derail you? And, for the short term, yeah, maybe make you feel better. But for the long term, no, it's just going to make you feel more depressed because you're not where you want to be physically and mentally. So, whatever. I don't know. I'm done. I could keep going, but I don't want to. I don't want to steal the show from you.
Well, I'm not stealing. There's no stealing of the show. You wanted to rant, and so when we talk about alcohol, which could be 7 calories per gram, alcohol is normally readily absorbed by the gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract, right? So the rate of which alcohol is absorbed is just dependent upon if we have food in our stomach or not, right? The alcohol is going to set right into your GI tract. Once it finishes up there, it's going to head right to the liver. So the liver needs to break that down, and whatever it doesn't get broken down by the liver, it heads right to the bloodstream. The liver always prefers what we would call alcohol, which would technically be, for the most part, ethanol, right? So that's mainly fermented from things like corn, wheat, barley, all that stuff, right? So if the liver prefers ethanol as a fuel, it prefers it so much that everything else gets bypassed. It gets pushed to the side, and then alcohol has to get absorbed and digested first, assimilated first. And so we have like a 12-ounce can of beer, which would be, 5% alcohol. Then you have a 5-ounce glass of wine, say, which could be about 12% alcohol. And that would equate to like a fortified wine, like a sherry or a port, which is, 18% or something like that. And then you have your 1.5 ounce shot. You have your whiskey, your tequila, your vodka, which is about 40% alcohol, right?
She made eye contact with me when she said that part.
Each one of those is about equal in the sense,
Yes.
right? So your body's going to want to use that as fuel first. So all the other stuff that you've been eating throughout the day, it normally takes several hours for your body to fully process each meal anyway. Everything's going to get pushed to the side because alcohol has to get taken care of first, because your body technically would prefer it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's already number one. Alcohol consumption can definitely alter your nutrient uptake, right? So those of you that are trying to that are actually focusing on fat loss as your main goal, or even muscle gain, your protein intake, your amino acid intake actually goes down. A lot of your B vitamins, they don't get absorbed properly, and your B vitamins are naturally your carbohydrate metabolism, actually nutrients for your brain, for your central nervous system, and energy, your immune system, things like that. So all those things get pushed to the side and become depleted because the body is trying to get rid of the alcohol. So what else can I say? That people normally underestimate their intake of alcohol.
Holy crap, I know.
That the studies do show that people drastically underestimate their alcohol intake when they'll say, but I just had a couple of beers this weekend.
Yeah, they straight up lie.
We normally don't. If it gets to the point where you're drastically underestimating your intake, you normally don't remember at that point how much you've actually taken in. So, in regards to that too, so that would definitely derail your progress. In the main fact that your body will want to process that information, process that nutrient first, quote unquote, because it's still technically a nutrient. How much it does for you is negligible. But so your body's going to want to process that first. When we start to take in alcohol to an extreme too, dependent upon the individual, their sex, their age, their stress level, their body size, and all that other stuff, hormones kind of become thrown into the mix, and we can kind of offset those things too. So, and we always need those good hormones to help with fat loss, right? Mm-hmm. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all those things. Males and females, when we start to consume more than that's appropriate, all those hormones become out of whack. And they tend to disrupt the hormones for appetite control and such as well, right? And normally when people do drink, they're not exactly looking at, well, you know what, I need to have 20 grams of protein in this meal, I need to have 5 grams of fat in this meal, I need to have 30 grams of carbs. They're kind of like, yeah, wings, or like, yo, order those beer battered whatever. Or, Poppers. You know, it's like, it's normally not the healthiest of choices, so it's like,
yeah, hell yeah. I'm a big investor in Domino's.
So, in terms of that and fat loss, it's always going to get pushed to the forefront, and everything else is going to get pushed to the back. So your body's going to want to assimilate that first, and so that's where your rate of fat loss will slowly decline, diminish, or halt. And then when you get on the scale, your body is normally pretty inflamed at that point. Your body fat percentage most likely will go up.
You mean swole,
and
right?
it's swollen.
She's
Swollen.
I knew I forgot a letter.
So if we can just think about that for a moment, at the end of the day, there is a way that you can fit things in, but you need to be really mindful of where and when. And there comes a point in time where, if you're looking to have that six-pack, then maybe those extra few drinks on that Saturday night.
The physical six-pack.
Yes, thank you. So if aesthetically we're looking for that six-pack is the goal, or that single-digit body fat percentage is the goal, then maybe, that's where we have to start thinking about weighing out our options and saying, okay, what's more important right now? What's going to get us to the goal faster, more efficiently, that kind of thing. If, for females, if, getting into that smaller size bikini is the goal, then, having the Sunday brunches every week and having the happy hours on Friday after work, maybe, 2 less a month might be the goal. Or, maybe not for that time being until we get to that goal, maybe that's just not appropriate.
And we're not saying don't drink, right? We want you to be able to live your life, but don't be surprised at what the scale is showing and what your body fat reading is showing when you're knowingly binge drinking. Should we talk about White Claw? Should we talk about how people abuse White Claw?
White Claw is almost more dangerous than heavier drinks, I feel, because you can have more of it.
Absolutely.
Right? And the fizziness and the effervescence and whatever, it's goes down real easy.
I mean, you know what I say about White Claw? It's a fact. White Claw is time travel. Because no one ever cracked open a case of White Claw on a Thursday and remembered Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're just like, holy shit, how'd I get here to Monday? So White Claw is amazing for time travel. We should do a sci-fi movie on that. But in all seriousness, even some of these other seltzer drinks are coming out, they're like, oh, it's only 100 calories. Well, yeah, I'm so sure that you're only going to have one White Claw. You're not. You're going to get fucked up. Black the fuck out. And next thing you know, you had 18 black cherry White Claws. You can send those to 11 Old School Lane in Orangeburg, New York, if you have any extra for Teddy. He tends to like those. But no, you're going to abuse it, and next thing you know, all right, let's say you had 15, that's 1,500 calories. There goes your whole week, the whole week's caloric deficit. Gone, done. What the hell were you doing?
And in regards to training too, so everybody's got different goals, but right, alcohol normally dehydrates you. Dehydration, we can't function as well, right? We're not going to be able to function as well. We normally tire much more easily. You can't get through your workout, that's for sure. Anything that's cardiovascular, forget it. And if it's strength-based, no way. There's no way. There's just no way. It's not physically possible. And that's where the carbs come into play too, right?
I was going to say, from an athlete's perspective,
yeah,
it's really terrible. Drinking is just, I've obviously done it. I've had success doing it. We all, as he said, it's okay to do it.
Totally.
It's just the level that I think college athletes take it. Obviously you train high-level people, athletes who want to do more and become successful. And just the amount that you have can just completely destroy your training. I had one teammate in college that drank every night of the week. What ultimately happened to him, he got kicked off the team sophomore year.
Yeah.
And he showed up to a game one time completely hungover. You were supposed to be on the field wearing our uniform for pregame warm-ups. He came out in sandals that's reeked of alcohol. It's just,
performance, yeah.
Performance-based. You think that it won't, I'll have one, that's only one leads to 2 and 3, and then eventually it completely ruins you. So, I really can speak firsthand to that.
Absolutely.
At high levels.
Well, did you feel like you got it off your chest?
I think I did.
Okay.
I'm glad I did it a lot faster than most times.
At the end of the day, if we're in a fat loss phase and you're drinking every weekend and you're drinking throughout the week, it will catch up to you. So it will halt your progress. It will stall your progress. It does not benefit your progress. So instead of at the end of the day, instead of taking out all the good nutrients, instead of, slashing the protein, the carbs, or the fat, maybe we should just allow the alcohol to just take a step back for a moment and put forth all the good stuff, and then see how your body changes and how your performance changes. And then we can start to filter those things back in when we feel appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yes. Always cut the alcohol way before the carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be
Because it really does have no benefit in regards to performance and fat loss and muscle gain. There's really no benefit.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of trash, let's talk about this week's sponsor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This week's episode brought to you by Rockland Junk. Like we said to start off the episode, it's getting nicer out, which means spring cleaning's around the corner, and you might as well get on top of booking those appointments with Rockland Junk to help declutter your house, maybe clean out a whole house for whatever reason, if you're moving or whatnot. But
if you're renovating.
Yes,
if you're renovating, if you're throwing a party this summer, if your garage needs to be cleaned out or whatever, right? There's plenty of stuff to do.
Go to rocklandjunk.com or reach them at 845-475-8523. Remember, they are licensed and insured. They're not just some fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants company showing up with a pickup truck, giving you a low-ass quote, and then hit you up with some other tacked-on additional fees. So they are legit AF. Rockland Junk.
Phone number?
Again, 845-475-8523.
Woo!
All right, so he's chimed in a little bit so far in the episode. Some of you know him, some of you don't. We present to you our guest this week, Mike Dietze. Filter in the applause. All right. So, Mike.
A little weak there, but that's okay.
No, well,
You
it's
didn't
going to
help
be filtered
me,
in.
Teddy!
It's going to be filtered in. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how to work a soundboard. But,
There you go,
Yeah.
Raj!
where my dog's at?
And tight end?
So, Mike, take us back to that one day back in, I think it was 2012 when you first gave that girl the deets. No, I'm kidding. So,
Oh, goodness gracious.
dirty mind. I meant deets is short for details.
It's only Monday.
Details. Jesus. No, let's. We have time. Let's start off with how we met.
Well, so this was 2011. I was training in Wyckoff at the preseason Wyckoff.
Parisi Speed School.
Parisi Speed School.
Wyckoff, New Jersey.
And I was training with a couple different people. I was having some okay success. But one day, one of my trainers at the time couldn't make it, and Teddy was a fill-in. So we met, and honestly, long story short, I didn't train with anybody else since. In 2011, I tore my PCL and LCL at Seton Hall.
Mm-hmm.
It was against Villanova. It was a 50-50 ball. Like, I'm playing on the left side of the field. Their goalie hits a long ball, and I'm looking at the ball. The defender, the guy on the other team's looking at the ball. His studs, we both go studs up. He hits me in my left knee, and I tear the PCL. So
Fun.
So that was, yeah, exactly. So I was looking to still, obviously at that time, go on and play professionally, and I needed someone who knew what they were doing in terms of, strength training and rehabbing. And I had connected with Teddy, and he basically, to be honest, has propelled me onto a professional career. I mean, it really wouldn't, without him. I mean, I don't know who I would have gone to for rehab or how I would have gotten my legs strong enough again to do it. So he ultimately trained me. I went on to play in 2012 for the New Jersey Rangers of the Premier Development League. And then after that, I signed a professional contract a year later with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. And then from there on, we just have had a good relationship, obviously training me, but also as friends as well. And,
Yes.
in all honesty, like, they're not just good at what they do, Gina and Teddy, but they treat people like family, and they really deeply care about you, and they're not just there to train you and then collect your money and then never talk with you. So I honestly can't recommend them enough, and not to get serious on it, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, it was really nice. Thank you so much.
Mike really appreciates getting rowdy with me in public at sporting events. That's why.
You want to heckle people in left field? Teddy's your guy.
Yes. And I
We
don't
do have a
curse.
good time hanging out, though, all of us. We
Yes.
do. We do.
Oh, I don't curse when I heckle, I should say. I curse a lot, but.
No, it's good company.
But yeah, so. I mean, let's start with Let's start even just mentioning the injury. So you mentioned one injury, right? We could tie that into like just being consistent with your work, or you're working out and training and practicing and stuff like that. Dating back to, I think your first serious injury was in high school, right?
Yeah, I broke my femur in high school.
Yeah.
I was on a slide tackle, just like hit me in the upper side of the leg, the right leg, and my femur broke.
Wow.
And so I was in a full leg cast for 6 months, and that set me back at Seton Hall. So I didn't play my first year at Seton Hall because of the broken leg.
Yeah.
But my club coach, soccer coach at the time, was an assistant at Seton Hall. So he was like, okay, just rehab, get better, and then we'll bring you on for sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So I played sophomore year, and then I played a year in graduate school in 2011.
And tell everybody where you played high school soccer at.
Don Bosco Prep High School. I'm sure people watching have heard of that.
Yes, we had another guest on here, also a Don Bosco alum and playing professionally, Jason Vossler. Got to see the pattern here. So, yeah, you had that injury in high school. You had the one in college.
And then another one after that.
At the combine, right?
Yeah, that I got hit in the eye in 2013. This was before I signed with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. I was in Tampa, and I was at a combine, and I was doing a drill on a Friday. It was like a Friday, like 5 o'clock, before we play the games on Saturday and Sunday, like actual full field games. And I was going in on a breakaway, and the keeper just came out to clear the ball. The ball went right into my eye, and I thought like I lost my eye completely, like it just went blurry. So that was just another setback that I had to overcome there.
What about the hand? Remember that? You broke your hand. That set you back for a couple weeks too.
Well, I broke my thumb.
Oh, that's
the
what it was.
thumb,
Yeah.
But like that, it was like you think a
That
thumb
sucked.
would be like something small that you can kind of get through. Like it's like one of the most painful.
Oh my
things.
God.
But
Yeah, I remember where the bone was in your hand. You were not allowed to do literally anything because if it didn't set right, then
I couldn't pick up weights or anything like that.
you couldn't even run
No.
because it would
running,
move.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wow.
As if soccer doesn't have enough running. It's like, hey, none. Can't do any.
Wow. Yeah.
So, most people think about soccer and just they would automatically, and I'm a big football guy. I'm not a big soccer guy. I do watch soccer. I follow it. Obviously not to the level that you do or even experience physically with it. But, most people don't think of strength training when it comes to soccer. Like, they'll think right away, like, oh, if you want to be a great soccer player, then you got to just run a lot and then no weight training. You just got to do, like, light mini bands and I see some videos of, like, these soccer workouts on Twitter, and it's someone taking these guys through team workouts where they're just balancing on Bosu balls with mini bands around their knees, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And you're serious. I thought it was a fucking comedy at first, but apparently this guy is very serious about his craft, if you want to call it that.
No, you need soccer. I mean, you need strength training for soccer. I mean,
Yes.
you can't just run long distance on the treadmill and plop along at 7 miles an hour and think you're going to go on a field for 90 minutes and compete at like a high level.
Mm-hmm.
You need strength training. You need the explosiveness, and that's honestly like what I needed when I hit you up. I was like, I need to get my strength back in my legs so I can have that strong first step again, where I can get to the ball over 10 yards and beat the other guy in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't matter. Even if I can run longer than the other guy, but he's faster than me, what good is it on my end? I need I need the strength training, and that's like ultimately what you helped me with. So, but yeah, and then honestly, in terms of that, in addition to strength training, you need to eat right, and Gina obviously has helped me with that on my end. But like you can't out train a bad diet, and like that's one of the things that I used to be honestly fat in high school. Like I didn't eat right. Like I was a good player. I mean I had skill and everything, but like if I wanted to go play at Seton Hall or go play, have a professional career, I had to get fit. And so one of the ways that I got fit was obviously by exercising, but eating right too. Like if you have the base fitness and you have strength and you do sprints, you do all that stuff, like the sky's the limit. Like focus on being fit first, eating right, and like don't go out to, like I see so many guys do this, and this is sort of my mini rant, is I see people practicing their craft, but they're all so fat. Like you can practice your craft, you can be good at it, but like how often can you do it? Can you do it when your legs are heavy? Can you do it like in the 90th minute when it's like your lungs are burning because it's 10 degrees out, you're playing a night college game? Like what? Like anybody can do something like once or for a certain period of time, but if you're not fit, if you're not eating right, and you're not training, like that was one thing. Like I had some disagreements with my college coach, and we went back and forth on a few things, but one of the things he always said to me was that like if you're fit, that just solves so many problems for you. Like if you're light on your feet and you can just do, if you can just do things when you're tired, you're going to be ahead of like 95% of the other players, because a lot of other players don't put that work in. They have the skill, but
It's true.
It's so funny because like so many coaches at that level and higher have been saying that for so long, yet like, a lot of people just don't want to buy into it. Jimmy Johnson said it when he was at the University of Miami, and obviously he said it when he was with the Cowboys. But I mean, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry. I thought I was.
No, I was just going to say that it's important that not only the athletes hear this, but even our adult clients too.
Yes.
When you're just kind of coming in to, just go through the motions, what are you doing for the rest of the day? What about when you put everything together, you're sleeping right, you're eating right, and you're consistently training? That difference, you'll notice everything changes. Your body starts to look different. You actually start to sleep better. You're starting to enjoy your meals, and you realize, you know what? That actually made me feel better, instead of like the beer and the wings, or, going to the vending machine and just grabbing a popcorn and a Snickers bar. You know what I mean? Like, or just getting one of the hot lunches that maybe the cafeteria is serving, and it's just slop of this and slop of that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the changes, about the choices that you make, and about, being all in on it.
No, you really have to want it, and it's like so many people honestly do say they want it and they don't. Like just like going back to myself, like obviously I had an injury and I went to to strength train and stuff, but like in 2012 I was in grad school, and it's like all I did every day was eat right. Like I mean eat healthy. I mean just like, I'm not saying, I don't want to say no carbs, but I mean I was just really having a clean diet and running an hour, 60 minutes, doing sprints, lifting, because I wanted to get myself to the next level. And it's like when I signed my contract in Fort Lauderdale, like I remember walking back from the building where I signed it, and I was like, I fucking earned that.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, like it's just, and like I know other people, and I had one friend at the time, I remember back then, so trying to use me to get like connected to some other teams. Like he saw me having success at these different combines. He's like, oh, can you put in a word here, put in a word there for me so I can get there? And it's like, I mean, I was nice to him and said, yeah, I mean, I'll help you out, but he wasn't working. He wasn't putting in the work. So I was like, you know what? Like, screw you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing what I need to do. You do what you need to do, and like, we'll see who gets there in the end. And so many people just don't do that. And athletes today, even professional athletes, and this kind of transitions into me, because right now I told you I've started becoming an agent.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you're doing now.
So I'm still working at NBC Sports in Stamford, Connecticut, but I also became certified.
WNBC.
So I started representing professional players, and I have a couple of them now who, right now, they're free agents, and like they've had short professional careers before. Like a couple of them, like they signed a contract, but I mean they haven't played a ton, but they feel entitled, like that a team, just because they signed a contract previously, that they're automatically going to get picked up by another team. And then one of them doesn't even have full game video to send to teams. He has a highlight video, and it's like, that's great, but like I need to see full game. Teams need to see you play in a full game.
Yeah.
Anybody can look good on a highlight video.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a highlight video.
Sure.
highlight video. I mean, my mom could look good on a highlight video of kicking a soccer ball.
Yeah.
But it's like, and that's like the kind of mentality. It's like people feel that he goes to me on the phone like, oh, just we can negotiate with the teams, and it's like stop. I told him, I was like, until you like get a full game video, until you like even send some emails yourself or call some teams yourself, like it needs to get ingrained in your head that like nothing's going to be given to you. These teams, like it's a business. Like pro soccer is a business. They're there to win games and make money. If they bring you on and you stink, they're going to get fired. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think athletes have that mentality that it's like they're supposed to do you a favor. Like, and in college too, even in college, like even though it's not pros, like they're there to win. Coaches are hired and like brought on to win. So it's like, if you're not fit, if you're going out drinking, like you're screwing them. You're not only screwing, you're screwing yourself obviously, but they're not going to be happy with you because it's like they're getting paid to win. So it's like, take if you're a college athlete, I definitely have to say take responsibility and like, treat it as professional, because like if you're under scholarship, you are. You know what I mean? It's like you are.
You're getting paid to play.
Yeah, you're getting paid to play and perform. So take it seriously. Like take it as an honor that like these teams brought you in. So take it seriously. Because at the end of the day, like if you put in 100% effort, that's like all you can do. And like there were times, I failed in professional soccer. I failed in college at certain things, but like if I go to sleep at night knowing that like I ate right, I ran my ass off. Like I did everything I could. Like that's all you can do.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that touches on two things. So, like, number one, I've said it before, and it's not even my quote. I've just heard it for so many years. A professional is someone that does what they're supposed to do even when no one's looking. So, if you just don't have that attitude, that work ethic of always doing what you're supposed to, always doing what's right, always doing things that are going to help you, then you should not feel entitled to anything. You should really never feel entitled to anything, if you want to be real hungry and successful. But and the second thing that you mentioned, which cracks me up, is the game film thing, because even coaching high school football, and and even before I got into coaching, when athletes would tell me about their highlight reels and stuff, I was like, well, what's your game film look like? And they're like, who cares about that? And I'm like, anyone can look awesome on a highlight video. It's a highlight video. But, there's, let's say for whatever sport, let's just describe somebody, right? Let's say you're 6'1", 200. There's plenty of people out there 6'1", 200 that can run as fast as you, that are as strong as you, can jump as high as you. But what's going to set you guys apart is your attitude as a teammate, how hard you play, if you're fierce and tenacious, or if you're just kind of passive, if you complain to refs. What if you make a mistake, or your teammate makes a mistake? That game film's going to show in that play, like, how you reacted to that. And that's what coaches want to see. So, like, it's funny even hearing it from you. Now you're in the professional sports world, and you're telling these pro athletes, like, we need game film. Like, if they're hiding that, I guarantee that shit's on there.
That's the thing. Yeah, I even said to him, I was like, is there a reason why you do? These are the professional club. Like, they have video analysts, like people who do the video stuff.
And it's probably all in a cloud too.
Yeah.
He could probably just like send you a link, but he won't.
Yeah. No, I basically said to him, I was like, I can't help you until you get that for me.
Yeah.
I've reached out to teams for you, and like I know teams. Like I said, Landon Donovan, like not the name drop or anything on it, but
Lando.
But he was like, yeah, we can't bring him in. We don't have anything to go on.
Yeah.
So, but part of that too is like, at like the professional level, it's like the differences are so small between people. Like they want to see a full 90-minute game. They want to see like little nuances. Like, okay, he has something that I don't have. That's the thing too. It's like for college athletes who want to go pro, it's like, what special trait do you have? Like, and I say it for any sport, like soccer, baseball, basketball, like come up with something that you can do that a coach, like a scout, is going to go and say, okay, he does that really well. Don't just be, anybody can be, like they say, this is one thing that bothers me too, versatile. He's versatile. Yeah, it's good to be versatile, but like scouts want to see he does this really well. Mm-hmm. Like what can you bring to the table that I don't currently have? Because they're not going to, like, you can be a really good player in college or a professional player, and it's like you want to go to another team, and it's like if you're not better than what they have, even if you're really good, they're not going to sign you. So I always say, like, I tell the guy, like, okay, what can you do well? Like, what is your strength? Like,
yeah.
Don't just be like, good, he's a good player. Like, okay, great, everybody at the pro level is good. Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, what's your strength? So
it's kind of like Beckham,
Yeah.
He wasn't the best at everything, but he was really fucking good at one thing.
Yeah, free kicks and crossing the ball.
Yeah, so. And that's a big thing. It's a team sport. You pile that together with other things, almost kind of like how the Spurs operate.
Yeah.
It's almost like American sports should start taking more of that team stuff from European clubs. But whatever. Now I'm just sounding like a disgruntled fan.
The last thing, I guess it's kind of similar. The players post about grinding.
Oh yeah, so I love that. A couple weeks ago, and I think you saw me retweet it. There's a Korean Canadian, I think, former baseball player. His name's Eric Sim. He's on Twitter. He is hilarious, and one of my favorite follows. So he posted something. He tweeted something that was just like basically bashing people that only post shit for social media. It's like basically got all you people out there that keep posting these videos, hitting off a tee and then putting hashtag grind. He's like, fucking stop. He's like, you're supposed to do that. Yep. That's your sport. You're supposed to work on hitting a baseball. Just like if you were playing basketball, you want to be good at basketball, and you posted a video of you taking jump shots in your backyard. Cool. Nobody gives a fuck. You're supposed to do it. That's you practicing your sport. It's you mastering your craft. So that was like basically just shut up. Shut the fuck up. So I retweeted it because I thought it was hysterical. And I may have added something to it, whatever, right? The first two people to like the retweet were you and Vossler. So I was like, two guys that never post about their shit on social media. So it was just like,
nobody cares. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what you're supposed to like. You're not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm supposed to be like, wow, look how hard he's like. Okay, you're a baseball player. You should be, hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if I did that for everything I did on a daily basis.
But I think people want the clout before doing anything with substance. People want the clout.
Yeah.
They want it. It's like, do something first, then you'll really get this. Then you'll really get. Yeah, people will like. You get a few likes of you hitting a baseball, but then stop posting about it. Go work even harder, and then when you sign a pro contract, then people will really want be impressed. Then really want.
What cracks me up is some of those videos they post, you can tell was edited or wasn't the first clip. So it's not like they just put the phone down and was just like, hit record, and then like, all right, post it real quick, let me get back to hitting. They're just like, I didn't like the angle.
It's all about the perfect one, though.
I didn't like the lighting, or, I didn't hit that hard enough. And so it's like, the half hour you put into posting that fucking 3-second video, you could have gotten extra like 50 quality cuts in, like, or whatever, ridiculous. Social media, people are just insane on it.
They don't get enough likes, or if they don't get enough likes in a certain amount of time, then they delete it, and then they have to do the whole post over. And then, oh wait, let me look and see, did I look good there? I don't look good there, let's do it again. It's all about that now. It's not about what you do.
No. Yeah, some people just, then some of the best athletes, they just work. They just work, and you never know, like, what's going to happen. So, like, for instance, let's talk about that one time Beasley showed up at a practice.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get some extra work in.
DeMarcus Beasley came to before the 2014 World Cup.
Played on the national team.
Yeah. He played in. He also played in Europe too. He played in the
Champions
League for Rangers, and now he plays for the Houston Dynamo.
Oh, he's still playing. I thought he retired. Oh, he retired from international.
He retired from international.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he came to train with us in 2013, the year before the the World Cup, and like
Awesome.
he's just it's just kind of funny though, because we have our fastest guy on our team who was like at the time 23. Beasley is like 31, 30 I guess at the time, whatever. He's probably 36 now, whatever. My math is off, but he just blew right by him, and it just shows you like a guy, he keeps himself in like that. I mean, again, he's 5 World Cups.
Yeah.
So think of like the dedication and like obviously he's good. He's technical. He's good soccer.
He's been playing at a very high level for over 20 years.
Yeah. And played in Europe when he was 18 or 19 in the Champions League. So it's like somebody that dedicated to stay that fit and that fast. Mm-hmm. Like I remember the guy on our team like underestimated. I think he kind of like started off jogging slowly, and then all of a sudden Beasley just like goes and takes off, like full speed, just blows right by him. And we're like all on the field like laughing at each other like because.
Wow.
Stupid, but.
What are you willing to do? Like what how hard are you willing to work for it? Like
And that's
what's
why,
going to separate you from everybody else?
That's why he is at the level he's at for how long he's been doing it, right? Oh,
It's crazy.
what else? So we touched a little bit on nutrition with Gina, and you want to talk a little bit more about that? I mean, like recently.
Yeah, recently, well,
We
now
did
that I'm
some.
not a soccer player anymore, I tried to bulk, and it was actually successful. I stopped it, honestly, on my end. There wasn't anything that wasn't working. It was totally working, but...
You're not used to putting on the
I'm
weight.
not used to
You
it, and
freak yourself out a little bit.
I started, and again, it's just because of the increase in carbs, and I started to get a little bloated, but it absolutely worked to a T. Gina got my calories exactly right. I put on lean muscle mass, and
You put on a lot of lean muscle mass.
put a lot of lean muscle mass. I mean, my soccer playing weight was like 155, 160, and
How tall are you?
about 5'10 and a half, 11-ish.
And the quote unquote bloating that you supposedly felt is more so the fact that you had never felt so full before.
Right.
Like it wasn't what we normally see when people say they're bloated. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Like really full in your tissue. Like size-wise. Yeah.
And it was more the carbs. I mean, I ate carbs too, playing soccer, obviously, for energy and stuff, but not to the level that I was doing with you. And again, soccer, I'm on the field all day. I mean, I'm bulking while sitting at a desk all day, so it added on to it.
And your goals are different now. So like, they're physique-based, you want to feel good. And I mean, I'm just looking at the end result. I think it was, 9 pounds? Yeah. It's great. No. I mean, it was awesome.
How long? It wasn't that
8
long.
weeks.
Yeah, 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, I really,
Let's add on one of the most remarkable parts of this transformation. It was all online.
Yeah, I didn't come in. That's the thing. She didn't come in to like measure my body fat or anything. It was like she just did that off of the information that I gave her, and it was perfect.
Yeah, a lot of progress pics were going back and forth, right?
And we were really conservative, and Mike was really honest with me and how he felt, and he gave
strength too. So,
awesome.
That's
I haven't. It's not like I've maybe I've lost some.
Awesome.
Obviously, but my strength stayed the same. So.
No, but it was. I mean, we were we're really conservative with your increases, and I mean, I'm looking at, we weighed in. You gave me numbers 2 or 3 times a week, so we took averages, and.
Yeah, I think I started. What was it? 170. What was the number?
173.
73, right?
182.
Yeah.
And you were also doing some traveling during this time too. So there were times when you had to eat out, and I mean, I know that the food quality couldn't have been as good as when you were home. So I'm just looking. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, she really got my calories to a T. So it couldn't have been. You were exactly right.
And I know your hydration was always on point, so that was never an issue. Your sleep and everything.
With the beer, of course.
And you were logging all of your calories, right? So yeah.
And because I never did this before. I mean, my strength really went through. I mean, the energy I felt lifting was just like.
That's a big deal.
The oatmeal and the bagels, or the good quality carbs.
Yes.
That's a big deal. Just having those aha moments that's a big deal.
So yes, I did set that up for a shameless plug. With all the success we've had with nutrition coaching clients at Overdrive, specifically through Gina, yes, we can and have had plenty of success with people, mainly online, that haven't even come in for their weekly check-ins. As long as there's an open line of communication, we can be very successful together. And and with those with the communication, like I said and alluded to before, the progress pics always help. But if anybody that does this in the future with Gina does what Mike did, and continues to send naked progress pics with just a giant banana emoji covering his private parts, I'll just remind you, I have a set of skills, a very specific set of skills. I will find you, and I will kill you. No, I'm kidding. Mike never did that at all. But it was fucking hysterical. Liam Neeson's.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, Mike didn't do that at all. It was hysterical. But Mike's like, I did that? Oh, shit. No, but yes. But in all seriousness, we can definitely help you if you're willing to work, and we will do our part. So, no, I did see the progress pics. You looked great. So
he really did. He does.
He still do. He kept all the fat off, and it definitely feels awesome. It feels strong too, I'm sure. Yep. So, before we met up today, at least, you said you wanted to tell us this. Let's talk about some of the crazy stories. So we spoke about the Beasley story, how awesome that was, and everyone, I'm sure, thinks that being a pro athlete's all awesome and shit. Like, I always joke and say, like, at the end of the day, you're getting paid to play a child's game, so just, and I kind of leave it at that. I never say, like, pro athletes should stop bitching because, I'm stuck in a 9-to-5, and this guy's just hitting a baseball or whatever, like you're kicking a soccer ball. But let's talk about what happened in New England.
Yeah, so there was a team, was being the key word of the story, called the New England Force, that lasted for a long period of time, span of 2 months. So I signed with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers in 2013. After that, I ended up being a free agent, and I was looking to go to a new team. And this is ultimately how I signed with the Philadelphia Fury. So in February of 2014, I was looking for a team. I was using my contacts that I had in Fort Lauderdale. My agent was reaching out to teams, and I was just kind of exploring some of my options. And I got a Facebook message from a guy who claimed to be the sporting director of this team called New England Force. And in the Facebook message, he was saying, hey, I saw you play in Fort Lauderdale. I'm basically looking, I have a big-time investor that's looking to create an independent pro team that's going to be based here in the Northeast, like the best players from the Northeast. Mm. So he sends me an email about our practice is going to be in Brewster, New York, which is, I think, is
right across the river.
Yeah. This is going to be in Brewster, and he was going to pay me $8,000 a month for a year, which is great.
Yeah.
So I responded back to him saying, okay, I'm interested. Can you give me some more details? Like, are you just reaching out to me? Like, am I just the first guy you're contacting? Like, what's the deal? He said, no, I have some other guys that are interested. Right now I have about 8 or 9 guys, and we're going to actually hold our first practice in a couple weeks. So I responded back saying, okay, just let me know the details and I'll go. So I think it ended up being like a month later, we go to, we have our first practice, some random field in Brewster. Like, I don't even think it was a soccer field. I think it was just like a big piece of grass, like wide open grass. Like, the grass was nice, but it wasn't a soccer field. There were no goals there. So, I go there.
Weird.
The big green.
Yes. So I go there, and there were some other guys. I think we ultimately had like 12 guys for the first practice, which is not even a full team.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not even a full roster, like 18 or 22 guys. So we have a practice, and like some of the guys there were good. I mean, they weren't amazing. I thought actually like some of the guys would be better based off what he's offering for salary and like.
Yeah.
But anyway, like guys were there, and he says, "Yeah, we're gonna play a bunch of exhibition games coming up, and we're gonna have one this." He said, "Our big one's gonna be in May against a team called the Philadelphia Fury." So we end up having some practices, over the course. They weren't every week. When that kind of like threw me off too. I was like, what? We're not practicing every week. We're kind of meeting up every couple of weeks here for practice. Like, what's going on? So, I mean, I didn't ask questions. I was looking for a team, and I thought it'd be, I was hooked by the fact that like I'd be making a lot of money, even if it's not with a team that's affiliated with the pro league. So, we had a couple practices, and ultimately we get to the game against the Fury, which was I think it was in May or June. It was at some turf field in Brewster. It was boiling hot. It was like a Saturday night.
Wow.
We played a Fury. They beat us like 5-0. Halftime of the game, he just rips into us saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to bring in any of you guys. I'm going to take some of the guys from the Fury." I'm playing out of position too. I'm not playing as like I'm playing. My main position is the center mid. I was playing right back in that game. Mm-hmm. And I did okay. I mean, I didn't do anything amazing. I wasn't good or bad. But then, so we have the game that Saturday night, and then like a couple of days later, he says, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna bring you on board for this team." And then I go and message another guy who I became friends with, and he said, "Did you get the same message?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, he's not bringing me on." And then he came back to me a couple of days later. He said, "Yeah, all these other guys told that they're being brought back." So I don't think anybody got signed with the team. I think the whole thing was a scam in the first place, and that he was either lying to us or trying to do something on his own. So the way I got signed with the Fury is the sporting director of the Fury was in the stands at the game again, and I emailed him because I knew he was obviously there playing the Fury, and he said he was interested. He's like, "Yeah, I saw you play. He's a Scottish guy," and I ended up he was interested in me, and I went and had a couple practices with the Fury, and they offered me a contract. 1-year contract with an option for a 2nd year.
Nice.
And that was that. So.
And that team doesn't exist anymore. The New England team.
The New England team doesn't exist. It was
just fucking folded.
I don't even know if it ever actually really existed. I mean, I think the guy was actually a legitimate guy, a soccer guy, but it was just a scam. He came across very arrogant to us. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna play this way, certain style," and I was like, again, it's one of those things. It's almost like too good to be true.
Yeah.
I guess it was like, I want to make $8,000 a month from an independent team. Like, who's the investor here?
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, that was kind of a crazy story because a lot of big time promises, and it just fizzled within the span of a couple months.
You could have been screwed and not had a team to play for.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I got on with the Fury, but I mean that was over. It was in the middle of the summer, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? I mean, now it's been 8 months or whatever it is, 10 months since I was with Fort Lauderdale, so I need to kind of get going again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the New England Force.
Gotta get paid.
Yeah. So crazy.
complete scam.
Yeah. So I guess we should ask the biggest question right now. Then.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean.
So all right. Bumble, J-Date, or Tinder? Which one are you choosing for a one-night stand, medium-like relationship, and marriage? Go.
This is a tough one. Teddy texted me a couple weeks ago telling me that this might be one of the questions. So
thought I was kidding, didn't you?
Just breathe. Just breathe. Take a second.
I would almost say, like, I was going to think J-Date would be for marriage, given that how they take marriage very seriously. But
solid.
I'd almost have to say J-Date would be for a one-night stand because I want to have a bio. Let me holla at you.
Oh, let me holla at you. I like it. Yeah.
I just want to use that in my bio. Let me holla at you. That would be my Tinder.
And you're not Jewish, so it would be the perfect one-night stand because like she ain't taking you home to her parents because you're a goy.
Yep.
So. Goys and boys.
Yeah, so J-Day, I guess, would be the one night.
Solid.
Bumble, I would have to say marriage because on Bumble, like, you get some, wealthy females who from Manhattan, like, good jobs, good quality, upstanding people.
It doesn't sound random. It sounds like it's from experience.
No experience. So yeah, Bumble would have to be marriage. Tinder would be good for something medium length, because you can like take it further. It can be something short or it can be longer.
because you have that trial period where you're like,
Yeah, the
I want
trial
to do
period.
this again.
I want to do this exactly.
All right, my 24-hour trial is up. I'm going to sign on for a month-to-month open-ended contract. Solid. That is solid. So then, for all the ladies out there, is Mike Dietze a free agent?
Currently a free agent. Currently on J-Date. No, I was kidding.
But will be when this hits the fucking
As
presses.
I get to my car, download. Yeah, complete free agent. Currently on Bumble and Tinder.
There you go.
Woo!
Hinge though, because I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to give the reason why.
Is Plenty of Fish still a thing?
Plenty of Fish, Grindr. No, I was kidding.
Grindr started it all.
Yeah, Grindr did start it all.
The gays are very they're big time trailblazers. They're pioneering.
Is that grind?
No, and like anything, it's just like
Ashley Madison.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they say like the gays just like the whatever they think is awesome was like 10 years later will all of a sudden be awesome.
Yeah.
So like they started Grindr, no one knew about it. Then all of a sudden Tinder comes out and they're like, huh, the gays have been doing this for like 10 years, bro. They're like, what?
Wake up.
Crazy. So yeah, no. Mike, where can people find you on the interwebs?
My website is actually MikeDietze.com. But honestly, I'd rather, if you're a soccer player or you want to connect with me for any type of soccer purposes or see what I'm doing, find me on LinkedIn. Just type my name in, Mike Dietze, and connect with me there. I'm looking for more connections. Like even I do have some connected with some other basketball and football people and baseball on LinkedIn, just like athletic directors and stuff. So
Nice.
if anybody wants to add me or needs some type of advice, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. I'm deleting my Facebook because of Mark Zuckerberg, but so don't find me there. But yeah,
The Zucks.
sucks.
Anything to add?
I was gonna say, ladies, at least you know Mike is in shape. He trains hard. He knows how to eat. He keeps himself balanced. So,
Swipe
just
right.
saying.
Swipe right.
Yeah.
Standards are high, but that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
And all the J-Dater ladies, right? So Mike might be getting on there soon. He knows how to eat. I'm sure he's willing to keep it kosher. So, you know, holla at your boy.
That's your boy.
And he's great to hang out with too. He's a good friend. He's great to hang out with.
Yes.
We have a lot of fun.
Man's man.
We all have a lot of
He's a
fun.
man's man. We've shared several nights of cigar.
Drunken debauchery.
Yeah, cigars, scotch, and bonfires.
Baseball.
We kept our clothes on, though.
Yeah, well.
There was that one time. No, I'm kidding. Anything
All
else to
right.
add? Desi Destroyer. Anything to add?
That was fun.
That was fun.
Good.
We
I'm
should
glad you
do
had
it
fun.
again.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a fireside one in the summer.
Sounds like
I like
Part
that
two. We'll maybe we can review some of your conquests. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. So, thanks for tuning in to Overdrive AF. This was episode 10.
number 10.
We will be back next week. Slide into our DMs with any topics that you want us to cover, any questions, comments. If you want to see more of the dogs, you can find them at Titan_Barrage, BRAJ _Overdrive
I think.
on Instagram.
I don't
I
know.
think that's what it is. Anyway, but
Thank you,
Thanks
Mike,
for
for
tuning in.
hanging out with us too.
yes.
Yeah, thank you for all the information.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.